welcome back to Wizards of Light. We're going to do another lightburn print and cut feature to save a project. Yes, a second one. I don't think people realize how powerful print and cut actually is. Let me show you. We're going to do an engraving on here. I'm going to make a stash box. For, the wacky tobacco. I'm going to make a stash box for that. I'm going to put some imagery on here to represent that, but it's going to be too thin of a line, and I'm going to want to thicken it up. And we're going to use print and cut in order to accomplish that. So we're going to move over to the laser, get this lined up, and we're going to, let me show you the imagery first. Let's bring that up here. Alright, so here's our image that we're going to be putting on there. Alright, we have it set 500 millimeters a second, 20% power on my 100 watt CO2 Nova 35 laser from Thunder Laser. I'm going to move this job origin point to the bottom center. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's going to be real easy to line right up on the clasp, right above it. As opposed to trying to measure and figure out the center along this side. This side is going to be a bit easier, I believe. We'll see. Okay, so let's get this sent over to the laser. So we're going to send that like that. We're going to call this stash box. And we'll send it over. Alright. Let's go ahead and take our box here over to the laser. Let's use our autofocus feature. So whenever you're trying to get to autofocus, if you scroll down, it's going to take forever. But if you're in, at least in this Ruby controller, and different lasers have different controllers, most of them, if they're Chinese lasers, have these Ruby controllers, but even those, the control panels are different. For this one, the easiest way is to go backwards. So we go up to get up to autofocus, and then just hit enter, and we'll watch the bed drop down. Oh, that was interesting. Why did it stop? We can see that our light here. Sorry. Sorry about that. We can see that the light there is still red. I'm not sure why it didn't drop down all the way. Let's try it again. Where does it stop? Let's go ahead and move it down until that light goes green, and then do our autofocus. We'll move up now into the beam path and find the top that we're looking for. And if we take a look at our piece, jog our head over, we should be 3 millimeters above our project. And see that we are exact. So that's perfect. Now, excuse me. Now what we're going to do is move this box over. Move these magnets around on this bed, and I just found a little tiny screw that I've been missing. I know exactly what it came out of. It's my little Santa plate that I did for $6. Alright, we're going to line this up now. Let's see, can you see? Let me move you over here. You kind of see what I'm doing. Alright. I'm going to lower my speed down on the laser head down to 11 so I can get this thing in close. Now I'm going to slow it down even further, down to 1 millimeters a second. That allows super fine control over where I want this to line up. It's right about there. I'm going to just move it back so that we're right on that edge and hit origin. Now, the only thing is, I need to make sure that I'm also correct left to right, that we're not skewed. So I can bring my speed back up, like 200. We're going to shoot over here to the edge. And if you notice, I don't know if you saw that or not, but the laser beam fell off. So we know that we're not straight. So I'm just going to take this and slide it over like that. Move to the other corner. That looks pretty darn good. Now, we're going to bring the file up. Okay. We're going to double check our settings over here. So we've got the file up. Again, we do that just by hitting File. It'll be the last file that we sent, so number 29 here. I'm going to hit Enter. It looks a little weird on the screen. Don't worry about that. That's because of the offsets. If you're scanning offsets, if you set them properly, it'll look weird on the controller. Trust me, that's what you want. All right, and we're going to go ahead and frame that up now. Yep, that's going to fit perfectly right where we want it. So we're going to lower our lid down here. And you guys, there's a glare. Winter sun coming through. Let's see, where can I move you to where you can see what's going on? Ah, that'll work. Yes, that'll work nicely. Make sure that our focus is good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and run this. It won't take very long to run. It's not a large file. I forgot to turn off my heater, and I know better, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you what happens when you lose power with a thunder laser. So let's switch over to the camera here. And I want to show you, the lasers come back on. I've got the heaters turned off now. The lasers come back on, and on screen here it says, if restart at power off, escape and enter. Alright, we want to hit enter, and what that's going to do, calculate. Alright. And then just pick up where it left off and finish that up, which it was really close to finishing before. That's okay, it happens. Alright, let's go take a look at it now. Alright, just pick that sucker up. I know. said I was going to redo it, but it just picked it up and moved it. It's not bad. I would like to see those lines thicker, but it's okay, right? Right. Let's set that back down here for a second. We're going to move this laser head over. I'm going to line it up right at the tip of the top of that leaf. So for this, I'm going to lower my speed down. So I'm doing that over here, lowering down to 11 milliseconds, or millimeters a second. And then over here, we're just going to move up. Okay, now I'm going to lower the speed again. The way these controllers work, if you want to change that first number, you don't just start hitting down. That only affects that first number. What you want to do is hit over and then down. I know, it's weird, but it's the way they work. So, we're going to get in tight here so we can see. Right about there. We're right at the tip of that leaf. Now, set you down in here for just a second. And, oh, sorry, I stepped on my dog. All right, let's come back over here to lightburn for a minute. And what we're going to do here is I am going to select the graphic. I'm going to ungroup it. Now, I do have this set up in two different groups. So I have this outer part with all of the leaf stuff and then the outline and all that as one grouping. Then I have the mouth and eyes and stuff as a separate grouping. And the reason is I don't want to thicken the mouth and eyes. I only want to thicken these lines. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we're going to want some reference marks. And we want it based on this original outline, not the one that we're going to create here in a moment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the circle tool, and we have our tool layer selected. Undo that. I don't want to change that to that layer. But I'm going to make a couple little circles. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate on the keyboard, and then that just made a duplicate copy of that circle. The first one here, I'm going to move up, and we're going to drop it right at the tip. Right where we put that laser a second ago. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Second one, we're going to grab, we're going to move it down to the tip of this part. Now, see, when I set that, it didn't go exactly to the tip. That's why I zoom in. We want it right on the tip there, okay? All right, so we have those marks, right? So let's select our main grouping here, not the interior stuff, just the leaf stuff. And now what we're going to do is we are going to select an offset, but we want to do it in both directions because we want to thicken that line. We don't want to just move the line, we want to thicken it. So if we do it in both directions, now if we go crazy and do 1 millimeter, that's really thick lines. That's not what we want at all. We want something closer to maybe 0.25. And you can see the difference there. It's not huge, but it is a difference. Still leaves us some space in there. That's probably a really good thickness of line. Okay, so we're going to say, okay, now it's going to delete the original object. Okay, that's fine. That's why we have already set our little circles there. This is where the print and cut feature comes in. All right, so we're going to select that first one. We're going to go over here to the Tools menu, come down here to Print and Cut, and we're going to say Start Wizard. All right. Now, we've already set the laser where the first point of the printing cut needs to be. So we can simply set that target position. All right? Now, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to select this circle down here. Okay? We're going to set the second target position, but not until we move the laser to that point. So let's go ahead and go on over to the laser again and get that set up. Alright, so we're going to jog this laser down. Oh, let's increase our speed back up again. So we've got it set. Focus. We've got it set to 1 millimeter seconds. We're going to move over once, twice, and then up twice, about 200. So now we can shoot way down here very quickly. Now we're going to bring our speed again. Speed back down to 1. Okay. That's so that we can get us exactly where we need to be. Pretty close, but it's not there yet. Oh, a little too far. I think we need to go up a little bit. Too far. Right about there. Should do it. Alright. Now, we've got that set. So now we're back over here in lightburn. Alright. Why can you not see that? Stupid. Sorry. Let's switch over here to this lightburn. Now, this dialog box looked essentially the same. We're going to set the target position for the second position. I did it on the first position without realizing you couldn't see the dialog box. So, let's go ahead and hit that. Okay. Now, if we zoom out here, we can see that we have a red and a blue circle now. Now we know that those are aligned, or that they're set up to be aligned, and we want to tell it to align it. I always use scaled. You don't have to if you know it's the exact same, but you say it like that. Okay. Now, we don't need the box as part of our send over. We do need the face, unless you don't want to engrave the face again. If you only want to engrave the leaf, you can do that and leave the face as is. Let me take a look at the face. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's leave the face as is. We'll just send this, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and send that to the laser. Tell it to go ahead and overwrite that file. Okay, so we've sent that over now. Let's go back over to the laser. Now, everything's set there. Come over here to our file. Bring it back up. See, it has no face now. We could have turned this all kinds of which ways and it would have lined up exactly. I'm not going to frame it. I'm not going to do anything but close the lid and hit start. That's cool. Yeah. So much better than the thin lines, right? I think so. What do you think? Yeah, I like it. But that's the power of print and cut, guys. You can do a lot with it. It can save your project. It can save your project. It can get you out of a bind once you know how to use it. It took me a little while to figure it out because I kept getting an error, and I've seen other people complain about this error as well because it's not very descriptive. It doesn't really tell you what's going on. But the error that you end up getting is it'll tell you that there's not enough distance between your points, and that's you get that error because you didn't move the physical head of the laser. What you have to remember about print and cut is that it is going to use the absolute coordinates of lightburn. So let me show you what I mean. Over here in lightburn, when we set up the print and cut, which you can still see still is, it automatically changed it to absolute coordinates. I usually run everything as user origin. That's how we started this, was user origin. That's how I picked that I wanted it to start down here. But by having print and cut, it only works if absolute coordinates is on. That's why I like to use the wizard of the print and cut wizard, is because it sets that for you automatically. And I think in the past it didn't used to. And if you didn't remember to do that, it just wouldn't work. But this works great. The engraving didn't go too much deeper. Let's open it up and see if we can see through it. Almost. Boy, I can. If you, oh, you can see on camera, but you can see kind of some burn marks as we got close to poking through. But when I hold it up to the light, nothing. No light coming through, so we did good. But normally I would have thickened that up first, but I wanted to show you guys how to use print and cut to do that. And honestly, that image of that stupid leaf I had on a mirror, and it was the thin line, and it drove me nuts. And it was on there for months. I only, just the other day, when I was doing my first print and cut video, I was sitting there thinking that evening how else you could use print and cut, and it dawned on me, well, duh, I can now fix that mirror that I use as a coaster. Worked great. Came out perfect, just the way I wanted. So, we'll leave it at that for today, guys. Thanks again for joining, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.